Good evening, everyone. My name is Rocky. I'm going to be coming at this from a very, very different perspective. Like everyone on the panel, I used to be an ex-liberal as well. Very hardcore liberal. Actually, if you would go back about 15 years, I'd probably say I hated every one of you single person. If you had an R behind your name, that is. So if you were a D, we were cool. You're my peeps. So a little bit about me. I grew up with a single mother in a single parent household, and she had me at a very, very young age. And I get it. She wasn't ready to have a child, especially one as wild as me, as she would put it. But when I was younger, growing up, I never really had a strong hold set on anything that would give me the guidance to be a better person, a better adult, teach me things that would make me successful in life and in my future. What I did have was an addiction-stricken mother that had no idea how to raise a child. I had a broken home, nowhere to live half the time because all the money went to drugs. At a very young age, I was sexually assaulted by one of her friends because she wanted to get high. And that went on for, I would say about 4 or 5 years. So this is the first time I'm actually telling this story in full length. First time I've ever been on a panel, so I apologize if, it's a little rocky, but so the sexual assault started at a very young age because of a mother with a drug addiction. She had no control over her own life, so how could I expect her to have control over me? Father, never there, didn't even know his name, didn't even know he existed. Bounced around house to house all over Chicago. Grew up in the South Side, Cicero and Augusta for a long time. I don't know if you know that area, but it's very, very, very dangerous. There was a lot of family issues. Basically there's no stability. There was a lot of trauma, no stability. And when you're a child and you have no father, no mother, nobody to hold you accountable or to teach you right from wrong, that is a recipe for disaster to the nth degree that will destroy a child's life. There was what I noticed a lot growing up was a lot of division, a lot of hate, a lot of talking about each other. There was never any coming together. There was never any constructive criticism on how you could be a better person. It was always about how bad you were and how much you sucked and how much you're doing everything wrong. So that was very stressful in itself. Not only trying to manage going to school with the bare minimum, but also struggling with my identity on who I was as a person and who I would grow up to be. I'm a gay man, which you can probably tell my voice is not as masculine as most men, but I love who I am as a person. But growing up, I hated myself. I didn't like myself. Everything was my fault. I had a chance to grow up on my own and not really have an adult tell me this is wrong, you shouldn't be hanging out with these people, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be going there, you should be going to school, you shouldn't be, smoking pot with some people that you don't know that are twice your age. I got free reign to run my own life. So at the age of 15, going on my 16th birthday, I decided that I wanted to go to my very first gay pride event. I decided that the people I was with, they had my back. They were adults. They had my best interest. So as the night went on, I was able to get into bars underage because when you're in that type of community, anything goes as long as you're quiet. And that's the God honest truth as someone who lived through that and has been a part of that community for the better portion of my life. So as the night goes on, I'm having fun, it's my birthday, I'm at a drag show, having the best time of my life, and then I get a drink, and next thing you know, I wake up in someone else's apartment, covered in blood, clothes on, and feeling like I wanted to kill myself at that very moment, meaning at all. And I was at 16 years old. So from 16 until about 24, 25, when I actually left Chicago, everything I experienced made me feel nothing at all, just like a black hole, just ripped right out of my chest. and I wanted to fill it with anything that would make me feel something other than what I was feeling right now, which led me to a very long stint of heroin addiction and rehab and relapses and losing jobs, losing houses, losing friends, losing everything I've ever had in my life because I had unsurfaced trauma rebuilding every day of my life because I had no way to find out how to fix it, what it was, or why I was going on the path that I was going on. So, hold on a second. It wasn't until I left Chicago that I started to realize the people that I surrounded myself with and the people that were leading me down the path I was going down weren't the right people in my life. And I wanted out of it. I didn't know how to reach out for help. I didn't know where to get help. I didn't know there would be help. Self-induced overdose over 3 times because I just didn't want to be here anymore. But every single time I woke up and I would ask myself, what did I do wrong? And then I would ask God, why wouldn't you just let me go? I do not want to be here anymore. I am tired of feeling this way, and I would rather just end it now rather than being found in jail or dead on the street of an overdose. Just take me now in my own apartment, nobody around, I just want to go. Every time I got up. So I started to wonder, there's got to be a reason as to active but interested, and I met some people that were hardcore Democrats. I wouldn't say hardcore Democrats because there's a difference between a Democrat and a liberal, let's be real. Liberals are very different than Democrats. I mean, you can have the old school Democrats like, back in the day, the Kennedys, and you think about Democrats today, I don't even know if they would be considered Democrats, because if you think that, you shouldn't mutilate children, then you're a far-right extremist. You think you should have a closed border, you're a far-right extremist. Even though you could be the most liberal person in the world, you just want to have low taxes, closed borders, and safety. That makes you a far-right extremist now. And I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody, but that's just the truth. It isn't what I see, it is what I feel and what I am witnessing, not what I've seen on the television. I just got so entranced in finding reality and finding an identity and wanting to belong somewhere that even after I was trying to get sober, I would find myself sucked in to another black hole of trying to please people because all I wanted to do was be liked and fit in somewhere. And that's kind of what's going on with what's happening. I don't know if you guys heard about this yet, but they're coming for your children right now in the medical industry and with these activists that are pretending to be teachers and with all these people running in local offices, federal government, all of it. They don't have our best interests. I don't care if you're left-wing, right-wing, center, you don't vote, which you probably should. It's the greatest ability that God has given us ever, is to have our vote be counted and vote for the person we want. But everything has changed. Nothing is the same anymore. Everything is completely flipped around, upside down. And I know that for a fact because that's how they work. That is the agenda for the liberals. That is the agenda for the far right, far left radicals, excuse me. It's to take everything you know that is normal and flip it upside down. What's good is bad, and what's bad is good. And I'm pretty sure everybody in this room can feel that right now. Whether you want to believe it or not, you feel it. And if you say you don't, you're a liar. I'm sorry, but you know something is wrong and something is happening right now. And it's not left wing, it's not right wing, it's good versus evil. That's plain and simple. Good versus evil. Throughout my teenage years, I would be at every pride event, I would be at every protest, I would be at every rally for the Democrats. I would do anything I could to make sure that my Democratic fellow people won. Everything I could. Probably gonna hate me for saying this too, but I voted for Hillary in 2016. I loved her, but I thought I was told to love her. I didn't love her, I didn't even like her, but I was told I had to like her. And when Trump won, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you wanna talk about a big baby crying, that was me. I thought my rights were gonna be taken away and I was gonna lose everything I had just because I like someone of the same gender. I thought that everybody was gonna die because we were gonna go to war and it's gonna be World War III and we're all, it's just terror, terror, terror. You know, scare, 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 intimidate, scare, silence, you know, confuse, indoctrinate, radicalize. And then at the end of the day, I had like such a bad mental breakdown, I didn't know what to do. So I decided to do one thing that I've never done in my entire life, was actually start to research and look into things for myself. I wasn't gonna listen to what one person said, I wasn't gonna listen to what that person said, I was gonna find it for myself and come to the conclusion myself. And what I felt internally, instinctually, and in my gut is what I was gonna do. And from that moment on, I realized that I have been duped, I have been lied to, I have been taken advantage of, and in a sense, my whole humanity was raped from the democratic liberal agenda. Everything that I thought was real was taken away from me because I lived in a reality that one person that countered my beliefs with truth would make my world crumble. And then I have no grasp on reality or anything to hold on to anymore. And that's what's happening with these people on the far left, is they live in this ideology so much that that's all they have. That's all they can cling on to. And when you hit them with truth, and that truth knocks reality right into them, everything breaks. And then they have nowhere, they're done. But I've noticed that when that happens, there's nobody on the opposite side willing to grab them and show them the right way without having to bash them or make them, I'm not saying you guys, I'm just saying you come across people like that. And that's on every side. Nobody's innocent in this world. Everybody sins, you know what I mean? We're all sinners. We just sin differently. And so basically, everything that I've gone through led me to realize that this has to change. So I took my trauma, turned it around, and now I fight for children. I work for an organization called indoctrination. And we take after the military Wisconsin chapter, and we go out and we fight for kids. We stop them from getting surgeries and medications, and we tell them, just wait, and if it is real, it'll still be there. So it's about time we just realize it's not party versus party, it's just good people and bad people. And if you want to be one of the good ones, it's time to start fighting back.